Enkaz tamamen neredeyse boşalmış durumda. Murat geliyor. Bina geliyor.
Recent data compiled by the Building Collapse Prevention Guild, BCPG, an advocacy group which reveals that Nigeria had 43 building collapses in 2019 and more in 2020, should not be ignored at this time. The study shows that there has been an increase in the number of collapsed buildings in the country, and specifically, Nigeria's commercial city, Lagos, saw the highest number of incidents, with 17 cases, just under 4% of the year's total, a recurring decimal in the city. Anambra State, with 6 collapsed buildings, is second to Lagos. Although building collapse occurs in many parts of the world, the rate at which it happens in Nigeria, particularly in Lagos State, demands an urgent attention because in recent times, the collapse of buildings in the state has claimed the lives of many residents, billions of naira worth of property damaged, not discounting the unimaginable trauma each time a building collapses. So what is responsible for this upsurge? The causes may either be due to natural disasters resulting from earthquakes, hurricanes, floods, or man-made factors, also known as human errors, as a result of poor design and construction methods. This took us to Moshood Abiola Polytechnic, Architecture Department, where these designs were conceived.
You can't totally put an architect in the place of being responsible for that project because from what we have seen physically, it's more or less a structural collapse. And when you're talking about structural collapse, it goes beyond the purview of an architect. So a structural engineer in that light has more responsibility.
Another building on the 1st of November 2021 came down. It was a Black Monday. Several people were trapped under the rubble of a 21-story building that collapsed at Musikiu Junction by Gerard Road, Ikoyi, Lagos. The building was set to be under construction when it suddenly collapsed on construction workers. The incident, it was gathered, occurred at about 1:30 p.m. on that day.
Was a fool with my money, and I lost every dime.
It threw the Lagos State and Nigeria into a pandemonium where moves to rescue those trapped thickened. But unfortunately, the owner and several others' lives were lost in the process. Men of the Federal, State Fire Services and Rescue Team and men of Lagos State Emergency Management Agency, LASEMA, worked day and night to salvage the situation. The governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, his deputy, Obafemi Hamzat, moved the state secretariat temporarily to the site of the unfortunate scene, tried to appeal to families whose loved ones were trapped in the rubble to keep calm as effort to rescue them was on.
My deepest condolences to the families and loved ones of people that might have been involved in this very unfortunate, tragic, monumental national loss. This is an event that could be described as a clear national disaster. This is an event that one can say that indeed mistakes were made from all angles, and this is an event that truly, really should not be happening in a modern day city like Lagos.
But what was the cause of this and many building collapses in recent times in Nigeria?
People cut corners and clients are not willing to pay. And if you tell someone that this is how much we use for the test, and he says, no, this is what I can afford. If you can drop it, and another person may pick it up and then he will do copy and paste. He will get to the site, he will take photographs, and then use a past maybe test result from that vicinity. He will do some editing and print and give it to you and collect his money. So there are some that do not have integrity, they do such things, and then that is the basis of a building that may go down in that vicinity if you don't get it right at the design stage.
A very sad but necessary duty. It's a very, very solemn moment for me personally, but it's an important assignment that indeed generations coming behind us will not forgive us if we do not do the right thing.
This led the Lagos State government to set up a 6-member panel of investigation to look into what happened. An executive bill was also signed to give legal backing to the panel. During their period of sitting, it will be chaired by Toyin Ayinde, the president of the National Institute of Town Planners. The Nigerian Society of Engineers Secretariat in Abeokuta was also visited, where the chairman Abeokuta branch, Dr. Kolawole Olonode, said the incident was unfortunate.
Sincerely speaking, I'm baffled and surprised that it is happening in Lagos, because Lagos has a lot of rules and regulations to guide against this. I want to believe that somebody somewhere is not doing his job well. We have the laws to monitor the project from the beginning to the end. And I know that is exactly what is going on also in Ogun State now, when they are putting some rules and regulation in place, so as nobody just build anyhow. You build according to regulation and standards and specification. But when there is corruption, definitely things will always boomerang, things will always come in another way. And then a regulatory body like the standard bodies like Standard Organization of Nigeria, NIBRI, and some other federal government parastatals or agencies, they also need to really go out and monitor the materials that we have these days. The materials is to me, I want to consider that the materials we are using in building today, they are they are substandard.
Moving from an architect to a builder and to an engineer, we later found a structural engineer who many described as a lead player in any building process of such magnitude, someone who can tell the true story of what happened on November 1st.
One cannot say categorically that it is the fault of the structural engineer. One cannot outrightly say that it is the fault of the structural engineer until findings takes place. Investigation, that's what I mean. But let me enumerate factors that could have caused, that usually cause this kind of calamity. The first one would be poor design. Before you embark upon any project, infrastructural project, you first of all have to consult the architects who will plan, and then he will base his plan on the survey plan, and the survey plan are of two types. What most people used to know is the four-corner survey, that is 1+, 3+. That's what most people think is survey plan. Anytime you want to go on this kind of project, for this kind of project, you still have to move forward with what we call topographical survey. That is, that will tell you how relative the land is to each other from one end to the other. So it will tell you outrightly that this land is plain, or this land is undulating from one end to the other. There is a difference of about, in some cases, you could have about 5-10 meters difference in level. So if you don't have that information, or if you are not ready to go for that survey from day one, the project has failed.
Now, I have seen many comments regarding the Ikoyi collapse, and for some they say it is material problems, for some they say it's the approval that was given, that it was exceeded. You know, for some, they said there are no professionals on site. For some, they said the client is not listening to advice. And all of these might be the problem, not just some of it.
Many findings put the blame on obsolete materials, as no regulatory body was seen doing its job. It was also observed that the general public should always report suspected cases of insecure and dangerous property and structures around them to prevent such disasters. It was agreed that stopping building collapse requires a collective responsibility.